here we go into game number 1. It is going to be Togekiss into Shadow Scissor, and that Togekiss needs to get the heck out of there.
That is not what you want to see as Ilqm. Very unfortunately, the safe switch Fortress answered with Pangoro. Pangoro cannot get to the close combat before the Rock Tomb is ready. Rock Tomb is resisted damage, but Pangoro, it's known for its damage output, not its bulk, so the resisted Rock Tomb will connect and still do substantial damage.
And with open team sheets, Uzoukwu does know that it is Sand Tomb, not a heavier hitting charge attack such as Earthquake, so a no shield is quite easy to make. Close combat going through, pulling the first shield, a second charge attack is going to come through. I have to imagine that Ilqm's going to double shield, get the fast attack down, but it's at the cost of 2 whole shields, and there's a Shadow Scissor in the back for Uzoukwu.
The Shadow Scissor did farm up a little bit of energy before switching. So back in comes the Scissor, it outpaces, and that is critical for Uzoukwu, getting to land this damage before the threat of a Rock Tomb can pull a shield and get a debuff. The Night Slash lands, and suddenly, there's almost no health. Ilqm has sacrificed 2 entire Pokemon to get rid of Pangoro.
Uzoukwu now has to make a choice, and I like this. Shielding up the Rock Tomb, even though it is a debuffing move, it would have done so much neutral damage to the Scissor. I think, would he have been able to get a fast attack down there?
It would have been very close, but if you're at an advantage, Uzoukwu going to play it safe. Just gonna take the knockout. In comes Fearow as Feraligatr hits the field, and the non-Shadow Feraligatr, the extra survivability could be key for Ilqm, as the Shadow would probably get knocked out by the Drill Peck, but the non-Shadow Feraligatr may be able to hang on here. At least that's what Ilqm is hoping for.
I have to imagine that we're gonna see Uzoukwu build up to what would be a charge attack. I know actually throwing 1 before, Drill Peck coming through. Now with all of the fast attack damage that has added up, will it be enough to knock out?
It is not. The 1 HP survived. The non-Shadow Feraligatr paying dividends. And now this Hydro Cannon gets to connect. Fearow is going to take big damage. And it's up to Togekiss to try and close out the game. But the switch timer should be up momentarily. And that means Scizor will hit the field.
And Drill Peck doing good neutral damage to that Togekiss means that it's going to be very close to being farmed down. No, actually, Aura Sphere coming out 1 fast attack before. However, the Fearow does have a good amount of HP left. I think it's going to be able to survive a peck from Togekiss.
This will be close. Can it hang on? Yes, it does. And that is a Game 1 win for Uzoukwu here, as Ilqm, unfortunately, not quite able to overcome that devastating Scizor lead. And part of what enables the Glacier Flyers is the Gastrodon. Gastrodon, having a lot more bulk, can allow you to run a bit more Glassy Flyers. But for game number 2, we do have lock-ins. This time, it's going to be a battle of Flyers. Togekiss and Fearow take to the skies.
Now, Mr. Homeslice Henry, do you know who wins the charge attack tie here?
It is very, very close. Honestly, I think this might come down to the specific stats that the trainers have chosen for their Pokemon. Fearow lands the Drill Peck. That does big damage, and Ilqm will look to farm up to the back-to-back Aura Spheres, hoping that Aura Sphere will be able to deliver a knockout onto the Glassy Fearow.
My guess is that it does, but here it goes through 1 HP survive. Drill Peck coming through. It's a charge attack die, and Fearow does win it. So now Ilqm in a position where he does need to give up this switch advantage, and the Fearow is on his last legs. 1 Bug Bite takes it out, and in comes, I have to imagine it's going to be the Pangoro, but we'll see.
Very tough call to make. Choosing to send out the Scizor, making the read that Pangoro will be good, guaranteed in the back now that the Togekiss has been neutralized. I really like this decision, recognizing that that was the only threat for Pangoro. There could be difficult matchups ahead for the Scizor, but the Pangoro should be guaranteed to have a good matchup. The thing to watch for Ilqm as this game progresses is Ilqm able to get some kind of an advantage with the Feraligatr? As Feraligatr, if it's able to get up energy, then suddenly it's able to outpace the Pangoro. But very nice overfarm from the Scizor, which is immediately threatening a knockout, although with the debuff, the Fortress may barely survive.
Night Slash coming through does not pick up the knockout. A switch into the Feraligatr and a counter switch into the Pangoro. 1 shield down. Night Slash going to come through just before the Hydro Cannon, able to get there a little bit faster because of the fast energy pacing of Karate Chop.
Night Slash does get shielded, no attack boost comes through, and the no shield immediately, trusting that since this is the non-shadow for Alligator, the Hydro Cannon will not deliver a knockout. Pangoro hangs on, but not by much, and this could set up the farm down for Ilqm. Ilqm needs to go for it, for Alligator would lose the charge attack priority tie, and this is another bait, and it will get another shield. Will Switch Clock come up? No, the Pangoro is going to be stuck on the field. It's getting fully farmed down, and Ilqm has 8 Shadow Claws of energy.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I think the Trailblaze is just going to be a little too far. However, going for the charge attack tie, Night Slash here, I don't think is enough to pick up a knockout. It is the standard for Alligator. Maybe if it was the Shadow, but 1 HP!
1 HP! It just hangs on! I cannot believe it! The non-Shadow for Alligator. It's clutch. It hangs on. 1 HP and a dream! And Ilqm, what a play there. Survives, and he is going to take that knockout onto Shadow Scizor.
And really importantly there, Bullet Punch, 2-turn fast attack, not able to apply its damage before the second charge attack goes off from Ilqm. You can't discount Uzoukwu though, although he does not attend as many tournaments as Ilqm. He has almost always attended Milwaukee, and he's always done quite well here. Here we go into game number 3. It's a great lead for Uzoukwu, and a swap into the Fortress. Do we see a close combat or a bait here? It is going to be the close combat.
Ilqm thinking about it. He no shields. This is guaranteed to land. Close combat, devastating damage onto the Fortress. And there's the pivot out into Fearow. Fearow will not get the farm down before the Rock Tomb is reached. Ilqm intentionally over farming before firing off the Rock Tomb, wanting to get as low as possible to try and limit the energy head start that the Fearow will get. Fearow does get a third, and you can see the slight shake of the head from Ilqm. He was hoping that it would only take 2 pecks to knock him out, so that way he would be able to have slightly less of an energy disadvantage. But now this Fearow, it may be debuffed, but it is so far ahead on energy.
Actually, one of the downsides of throwing Rock Tube there is that he allowed for additional farm right on this Fearow. Going for the charge attack tie, really great knowledge from Uzoukwu to make sure that he gets this charge attack off while preventing Ilqm from garnering any additional energy.
Drill Peck not going to take a knockout. The Rock Tomb will knock out the Fearow, but what's going to make this matchup very tricky for Ilqm is that Ilqm ran a line that was very weak to the Pangoro. In comes Pangoro, answered with the Feraligatr. Feraligatr is down a turn. The damage has been done to the Pangoro, where a Hydro Cannon would be able to deliver a knockout. In the back is the Shadow Scizor, and Shadow Scizor, it does do pretty well into the Feraligatr, but if it's down energy, then suddenly that advantage is lost.
And what if I would have actually really liked for Uzoukwu was to come in with that Shadow Scizor, right? It would have done so much more damage with its fast attacks, and if it could gain a little bit of energy, I believe he, actually no, he had no residual energy on the Pangoro, but had he would have been able to balance out the shield deficit a little bit more easily. Now he's under a big pressure, but gets the boost from the Night Slash, so now the fast attacks are going to do more damage, but he's going to get knocked out by this Hydro Cannon.
This was an amazing overfarm by Ilqm. Ilqm made sure to get 1 residual energy, 1 residual Shadow Claw, because in comes the Scizor. Scizor would win charge attack priority, but due to the overfarm, Ilqm gets there first. No Protect Shields left for the Shadow Scizor. This is guaranteed to land. Devastating damage. 1-hit KO, and Ilqm survives in Winners Round 2.
Yeah, really great energy management from Ilqm in that endgame there, knowing what his win conditions are depending on which Pokemon are in the back.